Alright, what's up y'all? This your boy Raw coming at you raw. I got a new video for you dudes. But before we go any further, please drop a like on the video. Subscribe here for more gaming news from console to PC and maybe even tablets and phones. Look, this game called Destiny had a surprise update. And surprise update for all classes, a lot of weapons. And as a Destiny fan, I find myself obligated to tell you guys about these updates. Maybe you have been away from Destiny, maybe whatever the case may be, this update for Destiny I'm about to just go over with you guys. Now, without further ado, let's get into this thing. But here we are. For the classes, the Titan Sunbreaker hammer, so that's the solar super from the Titans. The travel speed of the super hammers, like the hammers you use when you go into super mode as the Titan, increased by the speed. The travel speed is increased by 1.3%. Hammer detonation radius increased by 10%. Damage increased by 10%. AI, against AI combatants. The Striker Titan, you know that Titan Smash. Everyone knows about that Titan Smash. Base damage is increased by 50% and an additional 50% against AI combatants. Defenders grenades. That's the void subclass of the Titan, and their grenades, they're spike grenades. Damage impulse per second reduced by 5 from 10. Spike grenades, their spike grenade also. Damage per impulse increased by 100. Total damage unchanged. At the end of the day, the spike grenades they're trying to make the spike grenades more of an option in PvP as well as PvE. Now to the hunters, gunslinger in the post, this was really the hit that they were trying to get on. So a lot of hunter changes going to go down and happen. First, we're gonna go with the solar hunter subclass, which is called gunslinger. The grenades, swarm grenade, increased arming radius 0.5 meters. Swarm grenade also detonates. Damage increased by detonation damage increased by 7%. Trip mine no longer attached to targets. Arm on impact when bounces and attaches to terrain. Look, I'll finish it up. Trip mine damage reduced by 3%. Look, trip mines no longer attached to targets. Let me say this. I think if you think about trip mine, you think about a mine. Explosion set on the ground. If you step by it or on it, it explodes and kills you. Trip mine is like, okay, no one can die from a trip unless you fall on something sharp or fall on in a way where breaks your back. And they were saying this in the post prior to this, that trip mines wasn't made or designed to stick on people. But to be honest, this change is really saddening because trip mines were so fun to use against players. The hunter essentially now has no grenade that can stick as a gunslinger. Of course, as Blade Dancer, they have a grenade that can stick, but as a gunslinger, they do not have any more grenades that can stick. It only sticks on targets. Moving on to their super, base damage increased by 50% and an additional 30% against AI combatants. The Deadeye perk on the Golden Gun now increases Golden Gun damage by an additional 30%. The throwing knives on the class, base damage reduced by 10%. Circle of Life modified, that's the Circle of Life perk on that subclass. Modified functionality, precision kills and throwing knives reduce the cooldown of Golden Gun. Circle of Life no longer extends the duration of Golden Gun. Circle of Life adds plus armor removed. Now we're going to, it says passives. These are still perks. Scavenger increased the amount of grenade and melee energy awarded by 33%. Chain of Woe +1 recovery added. Over the Horizon +1 recovery removed. These are all perks in that subclass. Now moving to the next subclass for the hunters, Blade Dancer. Skip grenades track time reduced to 8 seconds from 12. Skip grenades detonation damage reduced by 13%. To be honest, they just nerfed the skip grenades. Let's just face it. The skip grenades in the Blade Dancer subclass have now been nerfed. Grenades in this game, as I read on, if you could just have a side note in your head, grenades are basically becoming more of a tool to hurt versus kill. So, hey, that's the new meta. Double jump. Blink now incurs -1 recovery penalty, and then the Blade Dancer Super, the Arc Blade, changes to be less about repeatedly swinging and more about decisive strikes and with additional effectiveness. So, with that being said, as I continue reading, just know that they're trying to make this super more of a super where you used to kill someone versus use the super for mobility. Of course, you could probably use the super for mobility still, but as it stands, as I'm reading, it seems that they're trying to cut on the empty swings, like punching the air. You'll lose your super quicker. But going further, base damage increased by 2 seconds, hit detection, test range increased by 0.5 meters, damage increased by 30% against AI combatants, added a 0.8 second cooldown between arc blade swings while airborne, energy cost per swing increased by 20%, energy cost on hit decreased by 20%, vanish now causes the player to vanish on cast in additional to its normal functionality, showstopper damage radius extend by 1 meter. Now, of course, if you don't play the game, if you don't understand the game, this is just flying over your head. But understand that the game, as we know it, is changed. The update went live last Tuesday, and yeah, it's live. The update is live. All this is happening. We're gonna keep going, and the blink strike for that subclass Blade Dancer, launch distance decreased by 0.4 meters, backstab, valid backstab angle reduced by 30 degrees, escape artist, invisibility effect delay by 0.5 seconds, fast twitch, recharge reduced by 20%. Passive, there's some I guess some perks on the subclass. Encore, killing an enemy with Arc Blade now extends its duration and grants a 150% increase to the Arc Blade damage for a short time. That is good, because sometimes when you're swinging that blade, it feels like you're not hitting, you're hitting something, but you're not really hitting nothing. So kill a weak enemy in PvE and then attack a big enemy, and you might can kill it. Night Stalker grenades. Now this is the Void, the new subclass for the Hunter grenades. Spike grenades, damage impulse per second reduced to 5 from 10. Spike grenades, damage per impulse increased by 100%, total damage unchanged. Super Shadow Shot, that's the super, obviously Super Shadow Shot, now applies the suppression effect on impact. Now that is huge. If you use the Night Stalker subclass, when you hit somebody with a Night Stalker ability, it now suppresses effect on impact. So you hit it, they lose their super, they're stuck, are killed. So that is phenomenal. That is great, because before you would hit someone and they would have like basically a split second, if not 5 seconds, to kill you and then get suppressed. So no more are those things gonna happen, hopefully. I've been playing with the Night Stalker class and it's been good. I've been enjoying the new change. Like I said, this update is live. You can go out there and try it now, and I also will have the link of this article in the description. But I will continue reading. Melee smoke changed to be less frustrating to play against in PvP, but more effective in PvE. Impact damage increased by 34%. Impact suppression and damage over time duration reduced by 1 second. Jump suppression removed from initial impact status effect. Unupgraded smoke cloud duration increased by 1 second. Envenomed smoke duration increased by 1 second. Envenomed, and that is a perk you put on your smoke as a Night Stalker to poison your enemies. Envenomed jump impression suppression removed from cloud status effect. Vanish in smoke is another perk, makes you go invisible. 1 plus agility removed. Snare, cloud duration increased by 1 second. Passives, these are just perks on the subclass itself. Courage of the Pack, now increase recovery, armor, and agility by 2 per stack. And then we have Courage of the Pack, now stacks 3 times. Lockdown now increases smoke duration by 2 seconds, plus 2 additional seconds with the snare upgrade. Predator perk now reduces the cooldown of the Shadow Shot ability. Shade Step moved to a single dodge on a 3-second cooldown. Now that's big. Usually you can do two shadow steps. That is basically your dodging mechanic on the Void subclass on the Hunter, but now it's reduced from 2 to 1, and on top of that, a 3-second cooldown to do another dodge. PvP is going to be very interesting with just 1 dodge move now. It's going to be very interesting. Warlock Sunsinger. Now the Warlock subclass, our class, already had a lot of tweaking done initially with a big update last month, but they're tweaking it again, aiming at the Sunsinger, and a lot of Sunsinger haters might be celebrating right now because the Firebolt increased arming time by 0.2 seconds, and the Firebolt decreased victim search radius by 1 meter. So they're nerfing Firebolt grenades, those things that Warlocks as Sunsingers throw that encompasses an area and then shoots at whoever's by it. They're nerfing it. Melee Scorch, or melee, the ability that they have. Flame Shield, 0.3 second delay added before the Overshield activation. This whole delaying before something happens, in a way, that feels like lag. I really, I'm not a fan about this whole delaying stuff before it should happen. Like for the Hunter, if you throw smoke to go invisible, you should go invisible immediately, not 2 seconds or a split second later. And this whole flame shield coming on after 0.3 seconds, I don't like that. But hey, this is the new meta. The passive perks on the Sunsinger. A lot of people like pairing Firebolt and Viking Funeral together. It's for a maximum damage on Firebolt grenades, but they're nerfing it. Viking Funeral no longer extends the duration of ignite effects. Viking Funeral now weakens targets affected with ignite effects, causing them to take 5% more damage from all sources, stacking up to 3 times. Now, like I said earlier, they're in a way making grenades more so a way to hurt your enemies, not to kill your enemies. You kill, like this ability right there, Viking Funeral makes them weaker, so follow up with some shots to the body after hitting them with Viking Funeral and a Firebolt grenade or whatever grenade. Void Walker is another subclass for the Warlock. They're not touching. It seems like they're not touching the Storm Trance, but I know they said something about the Storm Trance. They said that they're bumping the effectiveness against AI combatants. But here, let's read Void Walker. The glide mechanic, or his jump. The Warlock's Void Walker's jump. The blink now incurs -1 recovery penalty, and the Supernova Bomb base damage increased by 50% and an additional 50% against AI combatants. So that's 100% damage against AI combatants. They want you to play that PvE. And I'm gonna say something after I'm done all these subclasses. Last one, Lance now increases Nova Bomb damage by an additional 25%. So that's literally 125% damage against AI combatants, if not I want to say 75 against normal, like PvP, because 50 plus 25. They want to make you feel powerful in PvE and make you feel balanced in PvP. I think that's the goal for Destiny, to be balanced in PvE but be overpowered in PvE. PvP balance, PvE overpoweredness. I feel like that's where you should feel like a boss. You know, if you leveled up your character and took time to make all your subclasses really strong, you should feel like a boss. Like, boy, that Nova Bomb with plus 25% added to the 100 against AI combatants is good for the Nova Bomb Lance perk. Going from that, moving on to weapons. And I'm going to have all these time gated in the description below. Go check it there for all the time gated, because I know some people just want to hear about the subclasses or the weapons. And I'm probably going to repeat this at the end. But moving forward on the weapons that are getting changed in this update, or the update that's live. Fixed the issue where Year 2 version of Thunder Lord was not available for some players in the kiosk. Fixed an issue where incorrect UI bars are displayed on the Red Spectre. Fixed an issue where exotic machine gun stability was ignoring the base stats for recoil, Thunderlord and super good advice. Fixed an issue where Defiance of Yasmin, a sniper rifle, did not have the adjusted zoom for sniper rifles introduced in patch 0.0.0 5 times, and increase the inventory stat by 10. Auto rifles reduce damage of high rate of fire auto rifles by 6%. Basically, the dreaded doctrine of passing has been nerfed. I salute you. Moving on to hand cannons. Increase initial accuracy and decrease accuracy drop for low range hand cannons. Made damage fall off curves steeper to better coincide with intended effective range of hand cannons. Small increase to PvE damage to all hand cannons. Amount depending on enemy class. Ammo, it now takes less time for your ghost to automatically grab ammo for you when you're running low on ammo. Exotics, slight reduction to Hawk Moon stability, -5 stability. Perks, slightly reduction to counterbalance. Effectiveness, reduce 80% of recoil angle instead of 90%. Moving to armor, exotics, Twilight Garrison is following the same suit as Shadow Step from the Night Stalker Hunter Void subclass. Move tactical air support ability to a single dodge on a 3-second cooldown, so no more Titan flying. You can fly once, but not no more. So Titans, if you love doing that, I'm sorry. Moving on to activities missions, the alternate ending to Paradox can now be completed at any time by selecting it from the director on the hard difficulty. And I believe Paradox is the mission where you can, is that a Lost Light or Paradox? Because both missions are going to be able to be accessible at any time on the heroic difficulty. Write in the comment section, Paradox or Loss of Light is the one where you could get Sleeper Simulant. The Firewall mission actually is, I think that's the mission where you could get Sleeper Simulant. But these all missions are ways to get some high-end gear, if not exotic weapon that you can't get nowhere else. The Firewall mission will now be available as soon as the player has turned in the required items to access it, and that's really good. I hope they could do something for the mission for I guess you could say the Touch of Malice. I never had got one, and shucks, man, the hoops you gotta jump through to get it is, in my opinion, tedious. Moving on to the Prisoner of Elders. The 41 Prisoner of Elders Arena Activity Tooltip now properly indicates remaining weekly legendary mark rewards. These weekly legendary mark rewards are shared with the weekly Heroic Strike playlist and may be earned from either activity. Challenge of Elders. Varix grows impatient. Point deduction now grows from severe the longer you are in a given section. Point deduction 50 times number of times he has grown impatient. So that's Prison of Elder players. If you play there, that's your update. Crucible, all weekly rotation activities in Crucible now feature weekly rewards. So that's awesome. That's all weekly rotation activities in Crucible now feature weekly rewards. I'm trying to understand all weekly rotating activities. I guess those are those things above the Crucible when you're in Crucible menu picking what you want to play. Those things above are what could give you rewards, and that's pretty cool. Fix an issue where Trials of Osiris boon icons from House of Wolves persisted after deleting a Trials passage. Now moving on to items, and I think items and UI are the last bit of the update. 3 new CHROMA colors have been added: orange, magenta, I might be butchering that name, I'm sorry, and green. Let me say this about those CHROMA colors. New CHROMA colors, y'all. Like, I don't know, that's actually that's like cool, man. New CHROMA colors. Yes, just add chromas to guns, like let all guns be able to have chroma on them, and I'll be a happy camper. These have a chance to be found in Sterling Treasures, are from dismantling the Spectre gear set. Fixed an issue where players who did not own the Taken King could purchase Sterling Treasures from Eververse. Disloyate class items are now correctly listed as guaranteed items instead of possible on Sterling Treasure Preview. That is the Taken armor that was introduced with the big update last month, and fixed an issue where the daily heroic story missions that were from House of Wolves were not properly awarding legendary marks. Fixed an issue where the Road Unraveled ship would be unobtainable from Future War Cult faction packages under certain circumstances. Fixed an issue where the Kicks Dance emote was not displaying proper announcement text. Fixed an issue where Varix would not sell the Dreadfang sword then that's the Taken sword introduced in the last update, big update, if the player obtained and dismantled the sword on all characters. The last bit is UI fixes. Fix an issue where equipping the armor of Vows, new monarchy ship causes a false postmaster notification. Now the last thing that is very cool, your friends are now displayed in the directory when hovering over activities they are currently playing. Now look, let me say this. I just tried that out. If you're seeing whoever's playing Destiny still on your friends list, you can go see what they're doing in the game. Like you just, without having to go to the roster. And when you're picking a destination or activity to do, you can just hover where they have those 2 little people that indicates a friend is here, and you can see who's there now. And I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Y'all, this is the Destiny update, and I hope you guys appreciated that. Write in the comment section, are you happy with these changes? But yeah, that's all she wrote. This has been raw, coming at you raw. Pieces. They said no co-op though, Fresh. Like the gameplay features them switching in and out of characters, and I think that's a cool feature. But the fact that they're doing that so you won't have co-op, I think that's a little bit. I think that feature should be only there if you don't have friends, right? Or if you don't want to play with someone.
I think that's a little sad.